Okay, this is the Animal Welfare and Control Board meeting for June 27th, 2023.
All
Adam,
right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and before we get the meeting started.
Molly's walking in.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll wait for Molly yet. She's coming.
I would like to say thank you to Julie Dixon for the years that she's put in on the Animal Welfare and Control Board. She resigned this week. And that is a City of Tell City appointment. And I'd also like to welcome Karen Herzog. She's from County. She's a council appointment from County. You can go ahead.
I guess while we're waiting on her, I guess we'll go ahead and get started though.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and do Pledge of Allegiance and then start the meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, list of members in attendance. Adam Fisher, I am the chairman.
Rebecca Thorne, and I guess I'm the new secretary.
Karen Herzog, the Pendleton representative.
She's coming in now. Molly is.
Yeah.
So. All right. Minutes from the last meeting.
Were there minutes from the last meeting?
I haven't seen.
I seen them from May
She's
or April.
she took, not Julie, but mine went blank. She took them.
Tanya?
Tanya took them,
Mhm.
but she's not here right today.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me double check the emails real quick.
I didn't see any on there.
No, I didn't either. All right, so I guess after this, going forward, Julie will not be
Right.
considered on the board and will not be
Okay.
getting emails. So thank you.
I did see the minutes for April.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We didn't have the April minutes from the last meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has anybody had a chance to read the minutes from April?
Yes, I did. And I'll be the only, you can't vote on them because,
I never saw him anyway.
she wasn't on the board. So I make a motion to accept those minutes.
And I'll second it. Minutes were approved for April. Hopefully after this, we'll get caught up on their minutes for the next two meetings then.
Okay.
All right. Okay, election of officers. Well, I mean, as far as we were supposed to proceed with that. Like I say, of course, I was chair and everything else is already done said. But now, since Julie has left us, Rebecca's going to be doing the secretary's position. All right. Well, I guess as we move forward. Okay, we got some stuff that's come in under new businesses and stuff. About main thing that we're going to really try to do is the animal control officer. So we need to start planning on that so we can get that into the budget for July for the 2024 fiscal year. The budget will be coming out. And I guess we'll be getting with Molly on that. We'll be making we need to get a game plan of what all is going to transpire so we know how to go about this in the right way, approach the county council and stuff and the commissioners so we know so we make our logical point made.
Right.
That we can make this happen.
Right. We're going to have a plan of action. And we all need to sit down at a meeting, maybe down at the shelter, and everybody throw their ideas in, and we can come up with something, a plan that we can present before the commissioners.
So the budget meeting is in September.
Yes, but the budget, there's a deadline next month on when you have to have it in.
That changes things.
Yeah, because you can't just come in and ask for animal control officer and because it has to be,
Well, we can tell you the lots and lots of reasons why we need an animal control officer, but what else do you need?
Well, they want to be lost.
Money.
But to count the county, because it's all gonna try to be.
what we need to do is contact surrounding counties of our population and find out how they do their animal control officers, as far as wages, hours of work, what their duties are, because whatever animal control officer we do get, they are going to have to be sent to school. And I think that's that's a no-brainer. That has to be done. And on top of that, another problem or another issue, I hate the word problem, but another issue you may have there is we cannot work an animal control officer 24/7. So there's an idea rolling around in my head for that, but I can bring that up at the meeting also. Whenever we have a meeting, if y'all want to, everybody wants to hear, is there a good day, Molly, or evening, or morning? Who works?
I'm open, so.
I'm open
This is-
also.
This is something that needs to happen, so.
Adam, you work
I work.
during the
I'm
day?
looking
Yeah.
at my July and
Yeah.
I'm open, so.
Okay.
I'll work with everybody to.
Would
I
you,
can be open.
what days are we looking at?
So the deadline is the end of the month.
Uh,
July.
Yeah, I would say before, well,
So would it be the last commissioners meeting? The second one of the month?
I'm not really for sure, but I will find out tonight.
Okay.
But, the sooner we can, we're having a commissioners meeting Monday morning at 9:00.
Right.
What about Wednesday, the 5th?
We can do that.
What time?
I'm open. Morning or evening, whatever works for everybody.
It doesn't, we can always clue you in on what's going on.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I can video it, put you on, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I say, you guys know what you need.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be supportive of everything. So
Okay. Say 10 o'clock?
In the morning.
I have the slightest clue what you guys will end up needing total or good ideas.
Well, we're going into this,
We're all do this together. So
Yeah. and it's all new.
that it is. That it is. It's 100% new.
What rules and regulations did our last animal control officer go by?
Well, we really did not have a trained animal control officer. We had someone they called an animal control officer. And she just basically picked up dogs, took them to the shelter,
But she had no authority to do anything
No.
else? Or,
no
okay.
training, no nothing. God rest her soul, she passed away, but she did the best she could
Right.
with what she had. But I don't know that the county has ever had an ACO, a trained ACO.
At least not in the years that I've been on animal
No.
control board. We haven't. So
No. So everyone is welcome to come and pitch your ideas around and see what's going to happen from there.
And I'll see if I can gather some information from Jared with Harrison County
Okay, I have
before this.
a book that has all the commissioners and all the county officials at home of the surrounding counties.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
all right. Okay. Well,
Is Perry County's population like 20,000?
it's right at 20,000.
Yeah.
right at
So we want
20,000
to
is
compare with
population.
those.
But we're adding Branchville in too,
Okay.
but it's still population.
People here. Okay. All right. So what are some of the stuff we have here?
Was you gonna, Tanya is not here tonight, she's working, but she has typed up a letter and Karen's going to read it.
This is from Tanya. I'm going to read it to you. It says, I know you all on the board have said you'd like to have an animal shelter up and running before consideration of an animal control officer. Although I agree with the desperate need for the shelter, I also believe the need for an ACO is imperative immediately. As of May 11th, 2023, there were 11,792 calls made to dispatch, with 177 of them being animal related. And I can promise you it's more than that because I didn't call and took care of 4 myself in the last 2 weeks. Our law enforcement doesn't have time, training, and in some cases, the desire to properly handle our county's animal welfare needs. Whether it be neglect complaints, violations, or enforcement and investigation of violations and ordinances. We need someone whose sole responsibility are those things mentioned above. This person could maybe have a Monday through Friday shift schedule with outside calls, any outside calls that could be tended to by law enforcement and then passed on to the ACO when they return to duty, or if an officer feels there's an immediate need, they may request an ACO be called in. Our 2024 budget is getting ready to be allocated. I feel strongly this needs to be made a priority and figured in on the county spending. The ACO would need a vehicle, proper equipment, and some level of training. Also, they should have authority to write animal-related citations for violations of our ordinances. And in some cases, have the assistance of law enforcement for more serious concerns. Also, in some part, help fund the ACO and the county's animal welfare needs. I believe Section 2 should be put back in on our ordinances and start being enforced as soon as possible. In order to do that, we would then have to implement a dog tax per state. It's a county option dog tax, maximum $5 per dog. That's like I told Becky, there's lots of ways that we can help try to offset some of this cost, not only for you, but for the ACO. That they're investigating on grants and fundings they can get, like if an animal's severely hurt, there is one you can contact by email immediately. She will answer you right away, and they do allocate for hurt, medicine, keeping the dog, whatever. Furthermore, in Section 3, under Prohibited Acts, number 14, I'm requesting it read unsupervised tethering for more than 3 hours in a 24-hour period. I have provided the research and testimony on a separate page for the reasoning of this request. And lastly, Section 4 is this board, animal welfare, animal control, and animal education. And as I see this, our first duty is welfare, treatment, and quality of lives in our county. This is the year 2023, not 1093. I think that's supposed to say 1993. I'm not saying everyone has to let their dogs sleep in bed with them, but they deserve to have a good quality of life, not just survive. In some situations I've seen that our animals are in, they would have been better off if they didn't survive. This is sad and not a place I'd like to call home. In 1996, the USDA states the continuous confinement of dogs on a tether is inhumane. Indiana Code 35-46-3, Chapter 3, offenses related to animals, .5 under definitions. Number 4, neglect, restraining an animal that is that seriously endangers the animal's life or health by use of a rope, chain, or a tether. There is a such thing as a chained dog syndrome. An otherwise friendly, docile dog, while kept continuously on a chain, is intensely confined in any way, becomes neurotic, unhappy, anxious, and often aggressive. It is common for continuously tethered dogs to endure physical ailments as a result of being continuously tethered. According to vets, it makes them aggressive and too often causes neck and back injuries. They can be vulnerable to attacks from other animals and extreme weather. If they get loose, they wouldn't come back and they wouldn't get the care they need. She's got the 3 vets' names down here. But I'd also like to say that whenever, I don't know, I'm not just going to put it on kids because I've seen adults do it to my dogs, and my dogs are behind a fence that they have to actually bend all the way down to their knees, look under to see my dogs, but they will taunt the dogs. And you can cause a dog a problem if you keep doing that. You know, I mean, if there's people walking by, passing by, and they can possibly see your animals in any way, but they bark, even though they can't get to them, it causes an issue. I mean, I've even had to put an extra perimeter on the inside of my fence to keep people from sticking their hands in there. You know, it's just silly. And it's adults, not just kids, but kids do it too.
She just has some other information and stuff here that was sent in. Okay.
You know, she's got like a pet license application here from Jacksonville, Florida. She's got the Indianapolis Dog Care and Treatment key ordinance information.
As far as the county dog tax, you know, I remember that was something that used to be done years ago and then it went away with.
Mhm.
But back then it was always honesty was the policy. But you can't, I hate to say it, but you can't charge it off of honesty no more because there's going to see people that say they got 1 dog and have 10 or vice versa. Or the ideal thing to do would be to go across it almost has to be across the board anymore.
Right.
To make up for the ones that do, or, you know, and the ones that don't, well, you know, it's only $5.
Yeah.
So,
I know taxes, and I'm an animal lover
mhm.
as well as everybody in this room. But when you go talking about taxes,
You know,
people are going to go ape wild. They don't like the word taxes. But I think if people would,
pet license.
the true responsible pet owners would be willing to pay this.
Yes.
But
And $5 is what it used to be 25 years ago.
I can remember back when the trustees would go around and they actually would come to my house, our
Mhm.
farm, and they'd say, how many dogs you got here? I said, how many you see? Of course, they was running everywhere, and, you know, it'd be anywhere from 4 to 6 dogs. And we paid $1 a dog, which I didn't mind
Mhm.
paying at all. But, you know, this isn't 2023, and I know things just went up, and it's just,
I think people are more inclined to take to something if they know exactly what the money is going towards.
yes.
And if we made it super clear that it was going towards an animal control officer,
Mm-hmm.
I think we have more people on board than off board.
And that's where, you know, we'd have to, well, you know, I did the math too on that. That would, if just say everybody in the county, which is close to 20,000 people, just say if we would do, you know, at $5 a person, well, that's $100,000 or roughly around $100,000, but not everybody's going to be, well, with people at Branchville in the prison, well, they're not going to be taxpayers, so they're not going to get that $5, but it would probably for sure pay for the wage of the animal control officer.
But is that fair to people that don't have animals?
We pay all kinds of taxes for things that we don't use.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know.
That is true.
It'd be, yeah, for the people that don't, I don't know why you would really, we could try the honesty is the best policy, but I got a feeling people ain't gonna be honest.
But
No.
even if they aren't, it's better than nothing. And I like, why are we asking how many animals that they have? Why aren't we just doing a flat rate, like you said, of $5 per
Mhm.
year? Per household.
Right, I think that would be- And wouldn't that be something that you would attach onto property tax? So when I pay my property taxes, $5,
It almost have to.
it's going to be added on to that total, and then that's.
Would this
gonna-
cover dogs and cats? And
I think it should cover,
all animals?
correct, I think we should make, where that filters in to number one priority, the wage for the animal control officer.
And we would probably be better off changing the name instead of the dog tax, call it the pet tax.
Yeah.
That would probably, because that would,
Right.
yeah, because if it was dog tax, well, you're gonna have the cat people
Yeah.
complaining about it. Well, I don't even own a dog. No, but you got cats. So it'd be better off calling it the pet tax versus the dog tax.
That
I mean,
is
we've
true.
seen lots and lots of instances where if we bring up things like dog hoarding or just people keeping dogs in terrible, terrible conditions or kittens that just got hit, like we get those messages every single day, and it would be easy for us to say, this is why we need an animal control officer. We could give you 100 reasons right now, just from the last few weeks, and where the police officers are like, we don't know the protocol. So there's a missing puzzle piece. Because we are not animal control officers. Once you bring them to the shelter, they're our duty. Outside of the shelter, that's not our duty.
And that's where the animal control officer would, they would be, they would get them to the shelter, but then they would also be the main person, hopefully, that would decide, well, this is your third time this week this animal's been brought in.
I mean,
it's time
we
for,
can learn the ordinances,
Right.
but still, we're not transport and we're not police officers.
Right.
We're not gonna show up to any kind of something that could be illegal and make judgment calls anymore because we've done it before. And it did not turn out the way that everybody had hoped. And it wasn't in the best interest of the animals, in our opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Molly has had one dog down there 3 times, haven't you, Molly?
Multiple dogs.
Multiple.
3 times.
Well, I mean, I know the one,
Yes,
but
and I think that issue is resolved.
is resolved with a fence.
I finally think we got through and the invisible fence is been installed and working.
Good.
So
Just gotta stay upkeep on it.
Yeah.
don't let the batteries die.
Exactly.
But it's been working and that dog has not been back to the shelter. Pray that it doesn't come back. So
Mhm.
that issue's been,
That worked out good.
yes.
I mean, even though it took numerous times, it worked out good.
That's
No.
good to hear then, at least.
What about like chip readers? You guys have a chip reader?
You do have a chip. You've got a chip reader down there now.
Do all the police entities have chip readers?
Mm-hmm.
They say they don't. No.
Troy says they don't.
Troy, but they didn't have an officer when we got all the chip readers.
But they borrowed somebody's and lost it, didn't they?
But this is an assumption that like most people chip their animals.
Yeah.
Most people do not chip
No,
their
most do
animals.
not.
Wouldn't it be great if we got one in and we were like?
I think it's getting to be a
There's grant funding
trend,
for
though.
that,
It's
too.
getting better.
It's getting to be a trend with responsible pet owners. That love their animals and take care of their animals. And I'm not saying my dogs can't take off tonight, but they're not going to because they're too fat and lazy, and they want to stay in the garage all night and bark. But if they do get loose, they got a collar with name tags and their rabies
Rabies
tags,
tag too.
and
Well, we can all agree that that's the responsible thing to do. I just
Yeah,
don't think it's
And they're
the
chipped.
No.
majority.
No,
So you're
because
saying
Not the
Julie
common
is
thing.
the only one that doesn't have a chip?
I'm not gonna say that because I called, this was leading up to this. I think I left a message for you and you called me and told me to call police officers, whatever, to come up and see if the dog that I found had a chip in it. Well, I called. The sheriff's department finally ended up coming the next day. And then the next day after that, Carrollton came to check and see if it had a chip in it. But I'd already taken the dog to the vet by then to make sure it didn't have anything that I was going to get around my dogs, because we were mowing grass on a riding lawnmower and the grass was pretty tall. It wasn't my grass, it was mowing someone else's grass. And there was a little dog. And thank gosh he moved his eyes and I saw a little bit of white thing flicker. So I shut the mower off, got over there. The dog couldn't walk. He was sitting on there wobbling his head. So when I got him to the vet, he says he's been chicken winged. And I'm like, I'm really stupid about this. I've had dogs in my whole life. I don't know what chicken winged is. Broke his arms and like broke his front legs, broke his back legs. And you could feel the new growth growing already back, but the dog's not okay. He walks both feet crossed in the front and both feet crossed in the back, and probably will always walk that way now, because that's just how they heal. But it was a real struggle to get somebody to come and see if he had a chip. Yeah. Because, at first when I got him, I thought, I'm going to get this little fella. It only weighs 9 pounds. Back to whoever owns it, which now I'm glad I didn't, but I find out.
Did the dog have a chip?
Nope.
Adam, how much do those chip readers cost? Do you have any idea? Do you remember?
I don't really have. I'm sure. Well, if I tell you something, I'm sure they went up since then.
Well, sure.
Let's look here. I don't know what kind. I can't remember what kind we had even got that time.
The one the sheriff department came brought up looked like a handheld plastic mirror, and it was just a big open circle.
Mm-hmm. They can run it right over their neck.
Thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's a godsend when you lose your animal.
Yeah.
And like I was telling them earlier, I'm not a big Facebook fan, but I think Facebook has reunited a lot of owners with their dogs.
Yeah.
And
The
that's good.
Society is gonna do a chip clinic at Tractor Supply. I mean,
When is that?
I don't have the date yet, but
Okay.
it's probably gonna be in September, which is when our low cost Banditer clinic is. That's September 16th.
September 16th?
Is the spay and neuter.
Oh. And the chip clinic will be
We don't have the chip clinic
Okay.
set yet. I thought Jim was gonna be here.
spay and neuter
Spay and neuter is September 16th.
at
Saturday.
Tractor Supply
No, spay and neuter is at the fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds. And
We just
who,
ask that if you post anything about it on Facebook, not to include the location until the day of, because they just have a lot of like, narcotics and stuff in there for the animals that they've had. people
Yeah. and who is doing that?
Public vet.
Public vet. And this is for cats only?
Cats, I think.
And do they have to have an appointment?
They do. They have to register online, but they don't pay until they drop their cats off.
Does it have to be your cat?
You gotta claim it though.
You gotta sign waivers for it.
You have to claim ownership of it.
Mm.
Even if it's a stray, because you're getting that cat fixed, and then you're going to the thing about that is you're going to care for it after surgery. Make sure it's okay, and if not, you're gonna call the vet on the back of the paper and talk to them and follow instructions, and then you can put it back outside. But you cannot show up there and go, no, it's not my cat, I don't feed it. I do not recommend that. Because she's not nice.
Look yours.
No, wonder, that makes sense.
So she wants you to claim ownership, and, well, a lot of people don't know that. And then there's some confusion, and then there's,
And now, if you're able to put a cat in a carrier, then it's most likely pretty nice and being fed by somebody. They do have a special price for feral cats, in which case they evaluate them to make sure they're feral. And feral is very scared, won't let anybody next to it, hissing, acting like a feral cat. If a cat lets you take it out of a crate and put it in a crate, it's being fed by somebody, and somebody should be able to take care of it after surgery.
I wouldn't be able to put any of these in it. Great.
Okay.
Trying to scroll back and look through all the past emails on. We bought them back in 2020.
Okay, there should be a receipt then back in.
Yeah, they've got to have it.
Yeah,
somewhere back
should
in
be
there.
receipts back in there. That was bought with the Animal Welfare and Control Board budget money, correct?
Should be, yes.
I'll have to come out and check in Teresa's old office. There's a file in there for the Animal Welfare and Control Board. I can look in there and see where they were bought from and,
How much at the time?
right,
I'm trying to figure out what brand they were.
at least I can get a hold of that company, email that company
Yeah,
and
because
see.
it would definitely be, because we definitely have to have them all. Well, heck, Molly, do you have one of them from the county, or do you have your own chip reader?
see, it was there.
Okay,
So I think all those that were purchased though with the animal welfare fund
They
was
just-
purchased after the shelter closed.
yes, they were.
So
Okay. Yeah, I don't
this
think
was-
they had
this
any.
was the animal shelters.
Yeah,
But I'm seeing there's some on Amazon for $34.56.
I didn't think that they were really all that high. I mean, it's,
Now they all got an app with them and stuff.
yeah,
Well, Troy's the only one that needs it, right?
Troy needs
Hamilton
one.
has one, Chelsea has
Canton
one.
has one,
Hamilton has two.
Canton has two,
Hamilton should have two.
Tell City has two,
Two or,
and the county should have two.
they either got two or they got three maybe.
Okay,
I know Hamilton had one less than what Tell City and the Sheriff's Department got the same amount. I'm pretty sure on that.
mhm.
That's what I was trying to figure out what year. Let me see, I'm already, I gotta go into it was at the COVID years.
Yep, I can go back and look in the,
Yeah, that would be the best thing to
look in the
do.
file. I'll come out.
Because we definitely do need to get one for Troy, because if they're gonna go ahead and have an officer,
Mhm.
we definitely need to have one, and it probably needs to stay within the same brand that we've got. That way they're all
Right.
matching and interchangeable if something would ever happen.
Because I know law enforcement has to go to Troy, not a lot, but some, and they deserve to have one too. The marshal over there does,
Mhm.
Troy Marshall. And I'm assuming I was told, now, don't quote me on this, but I was told that they do have a new marshal.
Okay.
So I will have to go to the Board of Public Works over there to make sure that it gets to him. So, okay, what's next?
All right. Well, okay, progress on the animal shelter. I guess we've make changes has happened since last month's meeting, Molly?
No, it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead and inform us, please.
Last month, at the beginning of the month, we had a bake sale. Jordan Turner is present, and Tanya Rankin, Gina Crow, Harry Taylor, Heather Dawn, Judge Lucy, and Tara. Huh? Okay.
Is there?
they all put together an amazing bake sale. I kept saying it was gonna be the best bake sale ever, and it was. Carrie with Tailor Made made street tacos that day, and they were delicious. Sold out. She made 144 tacos. And she had also made a challenge to all her Facebook friends to donate just $1. Well, that got the ball rolling, and she had collected, I want to say $2,500 before the bake sale even started.
Wow.
Then the day of the bake
That's
sale,
good.
You ain't heard it all.
this community showed up and showed out. Some of these desserts that they brought were incredible. We had little Baldwin cookies. We had treats for the puppies. We had whole cakes. We had pies. We had bread. I mean, it was just, we had a plethora of treats. So if you couldn't find anything you liked, you got it from me. We even had a bidding war over one of the cakes, and one of the cakes was $100, which just kind of blew me away. The whole day blew me away. I kept looking over at the back of my truck, and it just kept getting fuller and fuller of people dropping off dog food, people bringing blankets, people cleaning supplies. Story County, this community really showed out that day. And you showed me how much you want this animal shelter. And I appreciate that, because this has been a hard road, and that kind of fueled me up again. It filled my cup up. And so I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, Jordan, for
Yes, thank you, Jordan.
throwing the best bake sale I've ever seen. So that day they surprised me at the end of the day with a big check. And then I surprised them because they had written it out all nice and neat. And I was like, oh, but wait a minute, I have more money. I had money in my back pocket. I had a check because Tanya Rankin kept coming up to me and handing me cash. I just kept putting it in my back pocket. So I just pulled it out of my back pocket, and I think I handed it to you or Carrie, and I was like, here. So then we had to scratch out that total and put a new total on the check. And that day, our total was $6,616. I said it was gonna be the best.
It was
bake sale.
incredible.
We got
Pretty amazing.
3 truckloads of dog food, cat food, blankets, cleaning supplies donated by Walpaca, laundry detergent, and toys. We also sold t-shirts that day, and we sold out. So we placed another order for t-shirts, and I picked those up today. So we have a new shipment of t-shirts. If you'd like a t-shirt, please let us know. Carrie Taylor has also since brought in another $500 that she has collected from businesses and people in our community. So I want to thank all those people for your support, because without all of this and without you and your support, this wouldn't be possible. So that brings our new total to $7,116 for a bake sale. Okay.
We're adding more.
Keep adding.
Okay, so.
There's more.
She's got money at home.
So that brings our new total. And all these changes are gonna be made on this check. And I'm getting a check laminated.
Well, I'm running out of paper here.
I know. So our,
I've got four different. for my
so our
notes.
new total is $7,236 for this bake sale.
That is absolutely amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah, we might be right.
So with that, I have allocated we've been talking about fencing off this back area at the shelter and making a bigger play area for our dogs. So we can bring them out and let them play, have run around time, have a pool, have splash pads, just different things for them so they're not locked up in their kennels all day. So with this $7,000, part of that is going to be allocated for the fence, and they are coming tomorrow to give me a quote and also move that back kennel around. Well, we're gonna, I don't know if they'll do it tomorrow, but move that around so we can get up to code also with fire because of the back door. We've also had our first litter of kittens at the shelter. So we are, which Ann has already told about the spay neuter clinics. We're also looking at more spay neuter clinics that we may be able to transport to, okay, until we can get some here local. But that's in the works. As far as the building, the gutters are up now. That has happened this month. They look absolutely incredible. We went with a black gutter on the street side, and it just kind of ties everything in. So the next step is the mural for the outside of the building. So we got the new back door installed. The sign for the building came in and we haven't put it up yet. I wanted to put it up, but I was slowed down on that because we already have a lot of animals and we're not open, and if we put the sign up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a welcome sign.
Right. So
It says we're open for
we're gonna-
business.
Yeah.
We're gonna hold off on that, but we do have it. We're painting the inside of the building. We got new lights up on the outside of the building. And, I have a huge, also announcement to add. We have added, Ann Kessinger to our team as the manager of the shelter. And this is something that I'm really excited about. Me too. She's super strong in dogs, where I kind of lack. And my strengths are in the kittens and the cats. So we worked together, removing some animals from around here and worked really well together. And I say that she's the calm to my storm.
Well, I think it's good because it took a lot of responsibility off you, and you can share the responsibility now.
Yes.
And
Yes.
with you being the director, you're gonna be doing a lot of other things, plus the job that Ann's doing. You're gonna work together. That's good.
Yes, and I need, yeah, we're all scooping.
We're all scooping poop.
We're all
Hey, that's part of it.
I'm the number one.
I scoop it every day. I got 3 dogs. I scoop it every day.
It's part of it, you know,
Yeah.
so, we're building a good team. The pieces are coming together. It's just taking some time,
Oh,
so.
welcome in.
And,
Yes. Thank you for
So in
stepping
the
up.
works right now, we have the exit lighting. All the door handles are gonna be replaced to come up to fire code. The back kennel walls need to be fixed, and that's gonna be in the works. We need a washer and a dryer, and we're gonna be working on a cat room.
Molly, on that back part where the walls need to be fixed, can that be done after the shelter's open? Can we move the dogs and stuff to one side and then do the other side?
Oh, we have too many dogs.
I need one of those fixed. And we have the panels back there. We have some panels. Now, I need to go back there, and now that I have some help, we can move these panels and see if all of them are good, but there's a stack of them.
That goes up against the wall.
And it would be waterproof.
Okay,
So it might not be it will be a fix,
mm-hmm,
okay? and the materials there. If it's doable, and I'm gonna have Brad look at it too and see what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
And if Brad thinks that it's doable, that we should, then I'll get with you on that as well.
Yeah, because part of those walls are block and the rest of them are studded. One part's studded and one part's block.
Right.
So the block could be a challenge. But it can be done
Yeah.
with Hilti anchors.
Yeah.
If you know what that is. I put a
Yeah.
lot of them in my lifetime.
Yeah, it can always be furred out if
Yeah.
it has to be.
All the center walls for where the dogs are, just the outside surrounding walls, so when we're walking around with the spray hose,
Yeah, it won't
it's water.
affect your drywall. And if the dogs jump on it, it ain't gonna hurt it.
That's why-
It won't tear your walls up. Mhm. And, but that sounds good. And the roofing company is supposed to get a hold of me within the next week because they were gonna come when I talked to Jacoby. What, a week and a half ago? 2 weeks ago, maybe. They were behind on a job, but then we were on schedule with them to put the silicone on the roof. But I know they put extra guttering up even around the the little holding pins too. He done that. And that was good of him to do that. He had some left. So, well, not a lot, but he had a piece out there that was just exactly long enough to put up there.
So hopefully within the next, hopefully by next month this time, the roof is done.
Yeah. Again,
Again.
And no leaks.
and no leaks.
No leaks.
But what we're doing is they had been putting acrylic sealer
Mhm.
on that roof. And the gentleman that done this, the last gentleman that was there looking at it and everything, I asked him, he said he's been working there for years. And I said, what would you suggest doing? I know there's silicone and acrylic. And he said, the acrylic is good. But he said the silicone has a rubbery sealant
Mhm.
and it seals better with the screw holes and the nail holes. So I said, what would you suggest? He said, I would go with silicone. So whenever I called Jacoby at We Coat Roofs, which she's been very good, when she says they're going to be here, they're going to be here. I told her we wanted silicone, and she said that would be no problem. So,
Yeah, because the one that's probably on there now is the acrylic one.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, and it's peeling, and it's came up where the screw holes and all the holes were.
Yeah.
And the roof, I don't think was ever actually put on right. I mean, it's got too many valleys, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, nobody knows when the weather conditions were when they put it down either.
No,
'Cause that's a spray on roof.
yes, it is. It has to have, it has to be 60 degrees, and it has to be 60 degrees temperature for at least, 5 hours, they told me, Molly?
Yeah.
5 hours
That's
for the
what it was,
acrylic
it
to
wasn't.
seal. And the weather here in southern Indiana, Perry County, you just don't know. So, okay,
That's all I have.
okay.
Thanks a
Have
lot,
one other
Molly.
thing.
You do? Okay.
Kim Strobel of the Story Education, that's what she does, is gonna set up an education program for us to present to the schools in our county.
What is it?
It's Kim Strobel. She's got where she goes and talks and does
Uh-huh.
all this stuff. It's called Story Education. She's gonna set up an education program for us to go and present to all the schools.
Good. Is the animal education?
Yes.
Animal education program?
Mhm.
Okay. That would be good. I do know that, what about paint, Molly? Have you got enough paint for the inside yet?
No, but I was just gonna get it as I go,
Okay,
because we have the account set up.
yes,
So I got 2 gallons of each color the blues.
Uh-huh,
And I was just gonna use what I have and then go down there and get some more. I didn't wanna buy a bunch of paint, because I don't wanna have it sitting there and I don't need it and then it go bad.
okay,
So I figured if they're just right down the road, I'll get those.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe with some of the money that is left in the animal control and education board
Mhm.
fund that's allocated, could we buy some, maybe little, not hardback, but little storybooks, little paper storybooks? You know, get with somebody on that to take to the schools with us. I mean, up to maybe grade what, 4? Because that's when the children are more vulnerable to animals, to learn about animals, when they're up to about the 4th grade. I was thinking maybe a storybook, about animals, how to care for them. You want to look something up like
Yeah,
that, Karen,
I
and
will.
maybe, and we'll have to get a number because we'll have 3 schools.
Right.
But what do you think about that, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's all out there. Somebody
I don't either.
somebody comes up with something.
She's
or
gonna check on them.
come up with something and get them, decide what, if there's a good handful, or we can pick on from there. Because like
Yeah.
I say, before you know it, schools will be back in session in about another 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and if these
Hard to believe, but
companies could send us a sample of these different books, we could choose from there. It don't have to be anything big and elaborate, maybe, 10, 15 pages,
yeah,
whatever. Or maybe even color books would help.
Yeah. Little story
just something that's
about-
got
Yeah.
some.
Something pertaining to animals and the care of animals and the welfare of animals. I think that, that's one idea. That's just my idea,
Yeah,
because I know that Julie had tried to find this lady or some
Yeah.
organization to come in to go to the schools, and it was just almost impossible. And I
Yeah.
mean, she really tried too.
yeah. After COVID, that pretty
Yeah.
much ended a lot of that. Or people lost interest in it, and they lost.
Right.
People that were doing it lost interest in it.
And I'll try to get the school numbers of how many they have in their grades.
Yeah. Like grades
Grade 1 through 4.
kindergarten through 4.
Kindergarten.
Yep, kindergarten through 4. I think it'd be kind of neat and see what would go on from there.
I can do it.
All right, so I've got the animal education ideas going. I say get that.
Probably lots and lots of videos that you could also play instead of trying to find and order a book. It might be easier just to YouTube it. And then, just go through and find one that you like to play after you read Kim Strubble's education plan.
Mm-hmm.
Find one that goes along well with it, or a few that go along well with it.
This is what you do. This is what you don't do.
Yeah.
All right. Next thing is, do we have any bite reports come in at all from Kim?
I haven't called Kim, but I will try to get a hold of her before the next meeting and see if she has any bike reports.
Yeah. Like I say, the only other thing is trying to go through is them CADs.
Mm-hmm. And they get lengthy.
Yes.
The CADs get very lengthy.
Julie did get us the CADs
Mm-hmm.
for this past month.
I can call Cher Reed and have her to try to continue to get the CAD reports for us,
Yeah, that's a plus there at least.
because when you go to looking at them on here, it just goes on and on. I'm more of a looking at a piece of paper thing.
Yeah.
And at least you've got them documented,
Yeah, go through the CADs, and I mean, right now, of course, this time of the year is starting to become a lot more rodents and deer,
Yeah,
which would be probably start filling the CAD reports up like usual.
yeah. On some of the calves I was reading today, like I said, they were so lengthy, and a lot of them were deer. There was a coon, I think, or a possum run around in the road in circles, and they had to actually put it down because it was just something was wrong. And I will get with Kim Robertson on the county sanitarian on the bite reports.
So these things that you guys are getting and sending to each other, is my number on your things? Because I haven't been getting anything.
No. What is your number?
812-719-0399.
When I do get them, I'll make copies of everything and I'll have them here at the meeting.
Okay.
But I mean, if I have to email you or text you, I can always do that.
When you was going through the CADs, Rebecca, did you see anything that was out of the ordinary or something that seemed like we need to really address? Because I haven't had a chance to go through it.
I seen some repeat offenders, but I think it was all taken care of.
Okay.
A lot of animals that was just running and they got back with the owners. Sheep got caught in the fence.
Yeah, I saw that. Some cows were out.
Cows were out. I mean, it's
Going through these names, just trying to see if there's anything that is anything out of the new.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I do know that there was an animal dog in Calton that was actually attacking.
Here, I see it now.
It attacked a little boy,
Okay.
and the little boy was taken to the hospital. And I think the dog was put down because of it. He was very, very aggressive even with his owner.
So the dog was put down by the owner.
No, dog was put down by,
I bet. But was it under request by the? Was that a request by the owner or?
I'm not for sure.
Okay. That's what I was just wondering on.
Was it on a leash?
I have no idea.
Was the little boy in the yard or?
That's where the bite reports would come in handy.
Yeah, that's where the
Yeah.
bite report's gonna come in. I'll have to get with the sanitarian to get the bite report from her.
Hopefully there was a bite report.
There
There
had to
better
be
have
a-
been. Yeah, if
There
they went to the
had to be a
hospital.
bite report. That's what the
Yeah, if they-
sanitarian does. That's her job.
Yeah, if they went to the hospital,
Yes.
there has to be. It has to be
Mhm.
done. Because we don't know if the dog was up on its vaccinations or not, or
Right. And it was a young child.
Okay.
I don't know the situation, as far as what all went on.
Parental responsibility.
But,
Fills in a lot
I
of
mean,
that
we-
too.
I'll learn more as I get the report from Kim Robertson.
If you let a kid run up on my dog. you might-
I mean, it's just,
might get
it's
a little
just
bit-
human nature, for Kim Robertson is our sanitarian, and she has to do all the county sanitarian. She has to do all the dog bite reports.
I think I found that cat here. Well, this here was on Tell City.
I think this was actually recently that this happened, in the last week or two.
It was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, I'm reading one that was done on May 27th.
No,
That's a different one then.
mm-hmm. But, like I said, I'll get the CADs and go over them. I'll just tell her I want the CADs for June and then be July too. by the time we have our next
Yes.
meeting.
Mine.
Yes, it will.
Yeah. I'll get those from her and get all of us a copy.
Okay, so CAD reports to come with the CADs with the bite reports. Yeah, like I say, I'd like to just keep them coming. They're a lot easier to read on paper because you start
Yeah.
reading them through a screen, you'll strainer.
Do you want the CAD reports just on the bites? Or do you want all of it?
Probably all of it because there's a lot of them that get included that don't get bit, but dog's been out 3 times in the last month.
Repeat
For
offenders?
repeaters and offenders.
Yep.
It'd be nice to, like say, and hopefully one of these, and one thing too, we would get the animal control officer. That would help alleviate a lot of the CADs too, because he would be the one that would be,
He would make the reports.
yes, and do the documentation of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bite reports definitely we definitely need to be seeing them. It would be a plus because don't need to know the situation of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
If it needs to be quarantined, or if it, the worst comes to worst, has to be put down,
Mm-hmm.
or
If they do
ju-
put
or,
a dog
or, was,
down,
or
it's
if it was
good
just the
to know.
wrong
What do
circumstance.
they do? They have to send it off, or if they don't have proof of its rabies shot, do they send their,
What was that?
like, say a dog bites somebody and they don't have a proof of rabies shot, and they euthanize that dog, then what happens?
It's got to be quarantined first.
What if somebody, the owner, euthanizes it before they realize it should have been quarantined? Just take their heads and send them to Indianapolis?
The person will probably have to be quarantined, in the hospital, when they know everything's okay.
Yeah.
They might have rabies, yeah, they would.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd have to be
Especially in
quarantined
the hospital,
first.
for sure.
She's saying if it was,
Yeah.
if it
And
was,
what if the owner puts them down?
if it was euthanized by
The
the owner
owner, dog
before.
bites its
after
own
a bite.
kid.
That dog would have to probably still get tested
Yes, it
somehow.
would
if it
still have
even-
to be tested.
Yeah, it would have to get tested to see if it even had rabies. Because how do you know if you need to get treated for rabies?
Right.
The rabies just doesn't show up. It's got to incubate.
Okay, what we got next?
All right, so we're done with the CADs and the spreadsheets and stuff. New business is, kind of covered that.
Yeah, we've covered a lot
We've
of it.
covered a lot of the new business, but the old business and
Right.
Other business to come to the board. Well, like I say, right now it's all about the budget, and we're throwing I hate to say it, but we're gonna throw all our eggs into this one basket, and get everything rolling
Yeah,
to make our jobs easier in the long run.
to make everybody's jobs
Yeah,
easier in the
To
long
make
run.
it, yeah.
From us to Molly to law enforcement to the community.
Yeah, that's our big goal right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, like I said, when you guys have your brainstorm, just fill me in.
I will. So that meeting will be set up for the 5th, which is next
It's next Wednesday.
Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And we'll get something done there.
And you wanna do that at the shelter, right?
Yes, please. If you don't care.
No, I don't care.
Can I have a copy of that agenda? Because I'm gonna do the minutes and make sure I get everything all for next month. I just want to make sure. I get
Anyway,
Yeah,
did I introduce
yeah,
myself after you guys came in?
I know you're Karen because Tanya told me.
I'm Karen Herzog. I was appointed by the accountant, city council.
And that's
Nice to meet you, Karen.
another thing we have to do is I'm gonna contact Mayor Kale because he has an open appointment. And if you know anybody that would be interested in serving on the board, it would be for the city of Tell City.
Yeah.
It's their appointment. They have to send a letter of interest to the mayor or the city council. Tell City Council.
I know somebody who knows.
Okay. Just all they have to do is send their letter of interest.
Jordan has somebody that would be interested, so.
Okay, just have them write a letter of interest to the mayor, Kale, and he will present it before the city council, and it'll be voted on.
Is there a limit or like pay by for that?
I don't know exactly when their city council meeting is.
I would say probably for the next meeting.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have one before our next meeting, I know that.
I'll let her know.
Okay. I mean, the more the merrier, that wants to apply for it. That's the way I see it. They'll vote on it there and,
All right, well, like I say, if there's nothing else that anybody can really think of, I guess. And, I guess we'll just plan for our next meeting, which our next meeting will be July the 25th, 6 o'clock here. That's what it's scheduled as, so.
Okay.
And I guess if
Motion to
not,
adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn it.
I'll
say-
second.
Okay.
All right, meeting is adjourned. Thanks for all who came and
Thank you.